All right. Quickly, it's now 1:10 and I forgot to turn on the recording. First thing I mentioned, I'm just going to run through this real quick, which is you can join a group on Facebook that's called You Know You're from Dyersville If, and it's more Eastern Iowa area. And actually, some of the towns like Dubuque has the same thing. So does New Vienna. Do they have one, Dorothy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, Dylan, you might check if Cascade has one. Because like I said, sometimes, you know, really fun things pop up on there. You know, someone's sitting around, I guess, and they think of an old memory and they just put it on. When I posted this meeting on here, which I should have done it earlier, but it's like, oh, I should have posted on that. I got one comment and it was from, I guess if you put on Facebook, that's out there. So I can put either Don or Rose Von London put, if Scoop, and you older ones might know this, if Scoop Rise served you a glass of beer. So does anyone know Scoop Rice?
Reese.
Well, Breeze.
R-E-I-S. What bar would have that been? Anyone know? I'll reply. Which bar was that?
I have no idea.
No, we were talking about, everyone doesn't know about turkey and dressing sandwiches. That's kind of a unique thing to the Eastern Iowa area. Dorothy had mentioned how nice and clean our area is, how the garden club does a great job with planting flowers, and how everyone's just very proud of their property, you know, and they, you know, plant flowers and do lots of landscaping, and we have a beautiful community. I mentioned the Game of Dyersville, which I said I think is available at the library. Cardinal Drive-In. I particularly was a car hop there, and you lowered your window, but not all the way, and then your food was delivered on a tray that hung on your window. I think they're known for their tenderloins and their French fries, but also their soft serve ice cream. And I loved it when the flavor was like the sherbets, like the raspberry or the orange. I had talked about going to, I'm the senior librarian here, and I go to the Ellen Kennedy and Oakcrest once a month during non-COVID times. And they brought up the Emporium, the cable tubes running up to the desk with your money, the penny candy case at Bruckner's, the red dollars, the sour cherry balls, and the Whorehound drops, which Dorothy said it's kind of a hard candy licorice.
I still buy it at Tyson's.
Oh, yeah, they do have a lot of that older type candy. I'm driving by Tegler's Body Shop to see wrecked cars, Fet Getters milk delivery, and we did decide that Tegler's also did milk delivery. I remember, well, I'm 55, and I remember when staying at my grandparents, they would get milk delivered in glass jars.
Where was Fet Getter's shop where they did the milk? I don't remember that store.
Kelchins, do you remember that? Or Mary?
Well, I don't know where he got his milk from, but they lived right south of Beckman. That's where I paid my bills all the time. About where the Country Junction is, along in there was a house
Okay.
Beck Ketters lived in.
Okay. What about music in the area?
It was better known for sports.
Okay. Well, in
In
my
house,
in my time in the 80s, probably 90s, Tussle was the big band for me. But the residents remembered like Lawrence Welk. They said Balltown every Friday night had music. Tuesday night in Dyersville, Thursday night in Worthington. I have written down Ray's Rhythm Ramblers. Let's see, the Worthington Hall.
was that a dance or?
At the Worthington Hall, yes. And
Marsha, I'm going to date myself. In the 80s, when I went country music, they had what was called Southern Comfort, and that was a country band, and they usually played in either Worthington or Louisiana.
okay,
That was about mid-85, 86, 87. And that was the local Wackendorfs. They owned the Promised Land Laundry. Now, he was one of the musicians in there, but he was with his brothers. And they were really musically talented. And my mom always talked about their dad, and I don't know that Wackendorf's dad's name. But he was in the band too, my mom said. And my mom was born in 1917, so maybe some of the other people know who that would have been. In the band too, my mom said he was in Louisiana.
okay, and just so you know, the Kelchins are kind of cutting in and out, so we're hearing parts and
Okay, can you hear me now, Ann?
yes.
Okay. Okay, I guess I was saying that in the 80s, when I was young, that we had the band called Southern Comfort. And that would play in New Vienna and Worthington, and it always drew a large crowd.
Okay. And yes, they were saying, well, I think this was the Worthington Hall, that the floors would actually bounce. So there'd be so many people dancing.
Oh, Mike, don't go 10 feet.
What, Mary?
No, it wasn't me.
Oh, okay. They talked about a toy store in the basement of the Schuster Hardware. Ben Franklin was also, well, the Ben Franklin and maybe the grocery store A&P.
And remember the lady that sold hats upstairs?
Okay, yep.
That's when we used to have.
Drexler's Millinery. We always had to get a hat for Easter in them days.
Right.
Up to Drexler's Millinery.
Well, and the ladies at the Ellen Kennedy Center were talking how at some of these dances, and these were, you know, the older people's, or I guess my parents' ages dances, there was some lady, I don't want to say her name wrong because I'm kind of guessing, but you guys might know, but she sold lingerie, and she actually wore lingerie, but you know, we're talking the flowy, dancey looking kind, you know, not that revealing kind. Well, at least I don't think. Does anyone remember that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, that brought some laughs at the Oh, and Kennedy Center.
Weren't
um,
Leo Greco and Andy Dow also bands at that time?
that could be. We kind of got a wide age group here. So,
No, 55 for me. 50 to 55.
okay. And I'm 55 now. Mary, how old are you?
I mean the year 50,
I-
1950.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say I'm 78.
Okay. They talked about a butter tub factory.
Yep, Jaeger's butter tub.
Where was
Yeah.
that? I don't know that one.
Who did what?
Where was it? I haven't heard of that one.
Oh yeah, right across from Lair Mechanical. That used to be where it was. And the Jaegers were our neighbors
Okay,
as I grew up.
sort of close to the library then?
No. Meyer Mechanical. Right from the brewery, across from the,
Yeah,
let's see, north of the brewery. That used to be the Jaeger Tub Butter Factory, right
never
next to
heard of
Pekin Brock.
it. Yeah.
I'm sure everyone remembers the Dyersville movie theater.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
And we still have at the Antique Mall, the theater sign.
Marquee.
Yes, the marquee. And they were talking about at the movie theater, they would mix all the soda into one cup and they would call it a suicide. So you would get some of each kinds of soda. And I say soda because I had a sorority sister that I lived with for several years and she was from Georgia. But so you mixed all the kinds of pop together and they would call that a suicide. And
Mhm.
in my day, and I did drink when I was underage in high school, sorry to admit. Hopefully you don't think less of me. But we knew the guy that worked the counter at the movie theater, and he would buy us beer, and he would put our beer in one of the tall cups and pack ice around it to keep it closed and put the lid on and then the straw in. So we would drink our beer out of a soda cup with the can
At
still
the theater?
at the theater.
I don't remember him having beer at the theater. You mean he did this on the side for you?
Yes, he did this on the side for yeah, I think it happened to be a group
Aren't
of girls.
special.
A group of girls, and well, I probably shouldn't. There were a few guys too, but I don't want to snitch on people in the community. But I was one of the
Yeah.
guilty. The people at the residence also talked about pouring over ice cream soda, and they called that a stockyard special. And what was everyone's favorite soda from the area?
Uberti strawberry.
Yeah.
Oh,
But how many can name all the different flavors?
Mm.
right. Then.
So there was orange, cream, the strawberry, the lemon lime, a sour mix, grape, root beer,
Root beer, yeah.
punch, cola, black cherry, and a sweet and sour. So I don't know if we got them all or not. Remember, this is us at the Ellen Kennedy, just kind of sitting around reminiscing about the old days. So now at the Huberty House, is there 2 people there or just 1 people there?
Just one.
Okay. Who had the best prime rib in town until a fire destroyed the building? And there was a carousel horse in the building. Oh, come on, I'm 55 and I know this. Hugo. Hugo's. Does everyone
Hugo's.
remember
Yeah.
Hugo's?
Yeah, I was going to say Schwartz's, but Hugo's, yeah.
He had the best prime rib.
Hugo wasn't in town very long, was he?
Oh,
Yeah.
I
I
think,
always got goose duck when I went there. Duck, I think it was he had.
I think he was here quite a while. I don't know. You know, we could, that's something, your historical society, if you call up there, they have different binders on different businesses in Dyersville. And they probably have a binder or a folder on them.
Years ago, the place to eat in Dyersville was the Nightlight for country people, you know.
Right.
We only got to go out to eat once or twice a year.
Well, my personal favorite's still all you can eat shrimp on Friday nights at the Ritz. So, all right. Anyone want to jump in? Okay. Morton's Hatchery, and some of these things I have no clue about, okay? But these are things that either they told me at the nursing home or at the Ellen Kennedy Center. So Morton's Hatchery. And then I have written down, and I don't know if someone remembered their phone number, but the phone number was phone 62. So we used to have less digits than we do now. Everyone remember the party lines?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Dylan, you probably don't know what a party line even is.
No, I don't.
So for instance, I don't know how many, I lived out in the country and I know my neighbor to the left and my neighbor to the right, we all shared a phone. And so if they were talking to someone, you had to wait till they were done. And you could also listen in on, because I know my neighbor would listen to me talking to my girlfriends from, you know, I think it was still high school that we had party lines. Because that was in the 70s and 80s. So, Marcia, can you remember?
Yes.
In 19...
I get closer to
1980. After that, I think my mom and dad got a private line, probably 1986.
Okay. And how many people remember the, well, I'm sure most of you remember, except probably Dylan, the dial, the rotary dial phones?
Yep.
And the house I live in right now still has one attached to the wall. My kids, when we moved in, they were like so amazed. They were like, "What is this?" You know, and it's harder to use because if you don't get it, you know, dialed, it takes longer to dial than a push button one. Okay, something about Ziegler's gas station. The Swing Inn had the best malts and cheeseburgers, they told me, at the Ellen Kennedy. And when you went to these live band dances at intermission, you went to either smooch or to go get a malt or a cheeseburger. And they talked about cutting the gut when gas was 99 cents. In my day, we drive the main drag, which would have been down by the Cardinal, which that was the other great eating place, was the Cardinal Lounge. But next to it was the Cardinal Drive-In. And we would.
Does anybody remember what was in the basement of the Cardinal Lounge years ago?
Wasn't it roller skating it?
You're right. You're right. Used to be roller skating.
Yeah. And then, and I don't know if I knew that myself or if they told me that at the Ellen Kennedy. Because I grew up with Nora Pettinger, so, but I don't remember roller, you know, and I hung out with her. I don't remember roller skating. We got to roller skate at Beckman in the halls and even at Xavier in the gym before they had the nice gym floors. But yeah, the main drag for us was Cardinal Drive-In. You'd cross where exit Realty is now. You'd get to the stop sign at Goodwill, take a right, next stop sign, take a left, and then down by where Dytmeyer's gas station used to be, or the church, you'd make a U-E and you would do the whole thing again. And, you know, I don't know how many times we did that. Is that what you guys did, cutting the gut? Oh, and let me look at, Don replied to me. I want to look what bar that was. Oops. Remember, you guys can jump in and share.
You've already gone.
I want to say, this is Marcia. I want to say is that in this area, we have really good restaurants. I mean, they're clean. It doesn't matter which one you go to in Dyersville or the surrounding areas. They're always very good eating, large portions, because I've noticed when we've gone out of the Dyersville area, you don't get the good quality food. That's my opinion.
Right.
I just think we have really good, you know, caterers, we have good restaurants, good bakers, you know. Country Junction's known for their best pie. The Ritz, they were always known for their best pie.
I don't remember the Ritz having.
Yeah, who was that role? Lucy Hine. I want some of the other ladies know that. She would make the pies there, and she made the best pies. Lucy Hine. Heying. She was from New Vienna, and she worked there. And I don't know who owned it at that time, but I was a little girl. My mom and dad, they'd always go in there for a piece of pie.
Well, one of the restaurants I miss in Dubuque, and it was on Highway 20. So when they did the four-way, it got tore out. Can anyone think of a restaurant on the left-hand side if you're going towards East Dubuque? What got tore out?
Rings.
Yes. And that's when I was little. And I'm thinking I just liked it so much because I got a ring when I went there. But I think they also had smiley face sundaes. Does that sound right? With a cone on, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know either, and I never ate there. I just remember, you know, seeing that there.
Don Rose von London put that the scoop guy, he worked in every bar in Dyersville. Okay. Before my time.
There were a lot of them.
I do know about this though, $20 and John Goen would get you out of a traffic ticket. Did John Goen get anyone out of a traffic ticket on here? Or their kid one of their kids out of a traffic ticket?
Not that I know of.
There were tower volunteers watch for enemy airplanes, and this was by the tennis courts?
At the park, George Necker overseed that, I think.
Marcia, I think even you and I remember this, a snowstorm in April 1973, where we had 19 inches, no school for a week.
Yes, I remember that. And I had a niece born on April 10th. And my sister-in-law had to go on snowmobile to Dyersville to meet ambulance about halfway. Yeah, that was something. It was her first baby. She said she was never so scared in all her life. She didn't know if they were going to get there so she could have the baby or not. But yeah, that's what I remember about that. 1973, April 10th, she was born. Yep.
And I was stuck in Dubuque.
Oh. She was a nurse?
For that
Were you
snow.
a nurse, Dorothy?
I went shopping at the mall. One of my kids needed a suit for prom or whatever. And you can see out in there. So when we got ready to go home, gee, all that snow. Went up the big hill to go home, you know, and it was pretty slippery and things. And I said, we better stay at my sister. So we backtracked and stayed there for, we thought, overnight. I think it was 4 or 5 days.
How about you, Mary? Do you remember where you were?
No, I don't remember that. No, I don't.
The Ellen Kennedy group also talked about corn husking vacations. So that was their vacation from school. They would do corn husking. They talked about the Penny's Catalog Store, Sears and Montgomery Ward. Also, some of them talked about using catalogs, and you know, this, I think there were jokes about this during the beginning of COVID when there was a shortage on toilet paper, that they would use catalogs for wipes. Okay, and also I guess way back before then, before there was catalogs, corn husk, but I don't.
Corn cobs.
Corn cobs, yes, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that, Dorothy?
Yes.
And did you cut it down or did you?
I don't remember it all that well, but I think, well, the ears of corn probably weren't as long as they are now.
Okay.
We had outhouses.
Well, right. We still had an outhouse at our house growing up. Okay, a DX gas station, Rooney's and Jack and Jill. Schrader's Market on Main, and by there I have phone number 4, or phone number 4. Single file in the middle of the aisle on the red tile. Something to do with lunch at Xavier. Okay, a lot of people will probably be familiar with this, the train lady.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
My kids from Hopkins made many trips to Dyersville to catch her.
And just to see her chasing the train or watching the train, or
It was unbelievable. I always wanted to go with them and see what was going on, but they'd never take me.
I remember she wanted to hear the train whistle, didn't she? She
That's
motioned
what
for him
they
to blow the
told
horn.
in the winter they would flood the big field, so there was the skating rink. And I have written down question mark candy cane. There was a contest at one time for painting fire hydrants. And this just got restored, the Tegler's Circus wagon, but that was
My
brought up.
computer says recording.
Excuse me, Dorothy?
Okay, on my computer it says recording and you're cutting out all the time. Is it doing something different than what it was doing or something?
I don't know. I tried to.
Now I hear nothing.
Now you're not hearing me at all?
She is cutting out.
There's music.
There's no music on. I don't hear any music. Are people still hearing me?
Now you're coming in good.
Okay. The shot tower.
Where was that?
Mary, do you know?
No, I don't remember that. Shot tower.
I
What
never
about
heard.
you, Rosalind?
I don't remember it either. Wasn't that the restaurant where who's in there now? Mr. Lock and Key, wasn't that the shot tower or what was that
Oh,
called?
yes, you're right. You're right. It was right across from Beckman. And upstairs there was like, there were pinball games and, you know, different things for kids to do actually. And yeah, after school from Beckman, a lot of kids would hang out there. Trick-or-treating at the Erdl house and getting toy tractors instead of candy.
Wow.
Missed out on that one.
So did I. The Besler Flower Shop.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we remember that.
Let's see. Looks like there was bowling in the Xavier gym also. Renting bicycles for 2 from the Cardinal Drive-In. Lynx Cafe. Dick's Steakhouse. And that's all I have. So is there anything else that any of you would like to share?
Well, I'm not sure everybody knew that Tegler's Dairy used to deliver ice cream and milk and things out to the country. And at one time, they even went to Cedar Rapids. They had a backup store there.
And after school, from Xavier, we would stop at Tegler's Dairy and get ice cream or milk.
Mhm.
Kurt or Dylan, do you have anything to share from the Cascade area?
He must have left us.
Yeah, I think so.
Dylan, are you still there? Maybe he stepped away from his desk.
Tickler's Dairy used to have the best at Christmas. What is that?
Eggnog.
Eggnog.
Oh,
No, yeah.
what are they going to do to that building now? Anybody know?
Has it been sold for sure or not?
I was told it was, but
Dirty Bob.
Brewery and in the Dyersville. They should get that recipe and the brewery should make that pop there and serve that also. I think that would be a big goal.
Oh, the Huberities.
Soda pop.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You should get that started. You should talk to some of the leaders, or because you know a lot more people than I do. And to find that recipe and to get that Huberty pop in that brewery, I think that would be a hit. Even if they would have to, I know kids can't go in there, but maybe from a certain time they could go in and
Well,
get
kids
just the
can go
pop.
in there and eat because they have
Oh.
those pretzels. They have those giant pretzels and pretzel bites, and they have pizza. So yeah, no, it's kid friendly.
Okay, yeah. But that Huberty pop, that was the best. I can remember drinking that as a kid.
And I know some breweries, they'll probably take it though and make it a hard soda.
No, we don't need that.
I wonder if that was sold though. Do you know what I mean? If that recipe was sold?
I think Aaron's working on that. Ronnie's son, trying to find that recipe.
Okay, Ann Huberty?
What?
Who's trying to find it?
Ronnie's son, Ronnie Huberty's son, Aaron.
Oh,
He's
okay.
kind of been looking for that.
Okay.
But so far, no luck, I don't think.
Huh.
We always got a case of Huberty's pop from Jim every Christmas when he was here.
I remember on the farm that my in-laws had an anniversary or something, and I had to go to Dyersville and get how many cases of pop for that party. Never heard of Huberty's before.
Yeah, it used to be where the Fidelity parking lot is now.
Yeah,
So Mary, who is looking for that recipe again?
Ronnie's son has been, and I imagine Ronnie is in her too.
So Ronnie Huberty.
Aaron Huberty. Aaron Huberty.
Okay. And do they live here in Dyersville yet?
His parents do. He comes back, I think, quite often. I'm not sure where he's at.
So Ronnie is the dad that lives here in Dyersville?
Yes.
Okay. But Aaron doesn't live here.
No.
Okay. Marcia or Rosalind, do you know Ronnie Huberty?
No, I don't.
Well, I wonder if they
Doesn't he lately know him? Do I have the right guy?
He works for I Do Decorating, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I know him.
That might be a little niche, you know, that might be something he could make some money on.
Well,
A good entrepreneur adventure.
I'm sure the recipe is worth some money if it hasn't already been sold. Because that
Yeah,
was,
I don't know. I think when Jim quit making it here in Dyersville, somebody in Dubuque was making it. That he maybe gave the recipe to them. I don't know.
so Jim was Ronnie's dad?
No. Ronnie never had a family. Ronnie's dad was Herb, I believe.
Okay. So Jim Huberty was the original.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And that would be Ronnie's uncle?
Yeah. No, cousin probably.
Doesn't?
There was just Jim and his sister was Sister Bernice Ann. But Ronnie's dad and Jim's dad were brothers, I believe. So they'd be first cousins, right?
For some reason,
I don't know.
am I right to think the RC Cola brand bought the Huberty brand? Because was RC Cola made out of Dubuque?
I believe so.
We could probably do a little bit of search on the internet.
I know I met Aaron already up at the Historical Society when they were looking for information too.
Okay.
He's pursuing that, I think, but I don't know if he's had any luck. Probably not.
Okay. Well, and if the recipe's been sold, then it's probably, we would have to have whoever owns it now.
Yeah, I couldn't swear to that, but I don't know.
Okay, anything else?
Mary?
Yes?
Who we should
No,
have
I don't have any.
Who we should have at these meetings is Phil Weigel.
Yeah, Phil would know it all, wouldn't he? Yeah.
His memory, I bet he'd know all the answers.
Yeah.
Well, and I would encourage all of you to go on Facebook and sign up for, you know, you're from Dyersville and or whatever, and plus whatever area you're from, because there is some interesting stuff sometimes posted on there. And of course, join the Historical Society. They have some nice articles sometimes. All right. I was thinking, well, the September stuff is already out, but for October, I was thinking just reminiscing about the good old days. Is that
And hopefully we can reminisce at the library.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen in October.
Not October yet? Oh my.
What do
Yeah,
you,
it's not getting better.
yeah, unfortunately, with kids going back to school, unfortunately, I think the count is going to increase. And,
Yeah.
you know, until we get through this next wave, it'll probably be next year, but I could be wrong. The
And
library,
I hope you are.
the library will not be open. I mean, we are open by appointments. I hope you all know that. And we still are doing the curbside service. We're trying to do as many virtual programs as we can. So make sure you either get our email calendar, or if you make an appointment at the library, we have our regular monthly events, or it is in the the Dyersville commercial. So there's always virtual events. A lot of them are recorded, so you can remember or you can watch them. Someone laughing? Does someone have something to share? Okay.
Maybe next time, Ann,
Yeah.
next time, maybe you can find out, we all be pictured, you know, rather than talking. Because two
Marcia.
people will be talking at one time, you know.
Right. Marcia, can you, does yours not have a calendar or a camera?
Oh, my son, he was fooling around with it.
Okay,
He's the one doing
there
it.
you are now.
Yeah, there I
Yeah.
am. And here's
That would
Rosalind.
be great.
I have Rosalind here.
Hi,
And my son
Rosalind.
James is listening. He likes to listen to this old stuff.
Okay.
He won't show his picture though.
Oh, I won't.
Okay. How
On
did
Friday, the
you
kids
do
don't
that?
have school.
Oh,
So this is kind of their schooling.
You
Well,
know
you
how
This
you
is
did that?
history. This is local history they're learning. So I'm homeschooling today, Ann. And you're
Oh.
helping me with it.
wonderful. I'm sorry I said some of the things I said.
And Dorothy, she helped with the time stuff, and Mary and Grandma Rosalind here. Yeah. They're learning the history of Dyersville.
I will say I regret majoring and partying in college, and
Good.
I would not recommend that, or drinking underage, because it does kill a lot of brain cells, and I think my memory can attest to that. So underage, 25 and under, if you drink before then, it affects your brain cells. So is that you laughing at me, Dylan?
Oh, I'm in the same.
All right. So in October, I'm going to do a program called Reminiscing About the Old Days, or the Good Old Days. You know, unless you want to keep it about Dyersville. Or if we can talk more about just the good old days.
That can pertain to Dyersville also,
Correct.
wherever you're from.
Yep, it can pertain to anything. You know, we can talk about, you know, when you went to grade school, and all different things. All right. Well, I'm going to close it for today unless someone has something else.
Well, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome, Dorothy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next time, Ann, I enjoyed the historical about Dyersville and teaching my kids.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Ann.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm gonna click end.
Yeah, well,